Today I'm joined by Carl Pickess, Managing Director of Kent Wastewater Services, which is a family-run business with over 20 years experience in the wastewater industry. So welcome, Carl.
Thank you very much. No, nice to join you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for joining us. So Carl, tell us a little bit more about Kent Wastewater Services.
So, where to begin? Just over 5 years ago, I was working for the big boys in the industry and traveling the world, traveling in the UK, missing out on lots of family time. And I thought, why not give it a go? Just set up something really small, just try and give a bit more family life, a bit more home life, and covering Kent, just servicing, putting a few tanks in the ground. And in the last coming up 5 years, we've grown to, we're now covering pretty much the whole of the southeast. We've run 2 or 3 different tanker firms, come on board, and then gone off on their own way. We've grown up to 2,500 customers, and it's all been done with very little advertising. We don't really push. Most of our work is done through recommendations. I've never really had the time to do the advertising, with Google ads and stuff like that. And we've been very, very fortunate to be recommended by lots of our customers, and we seem to be growing and growing. So yeah, it doesn't seem to stop.
Wow, well done. Look, firstly, let me just say well done. That you've grown your business over the last 5 years, which obviously includes a tricky patch at the beginning there with COVID as well, and through, as you say, limited sort of advertising. So you're obviously doing a lot of things right that I'm sure people will be interested to find out more about that, sort of, Carl. So, but let's dig a little bit deeper first of all. So you mentioned there that you started your business about 5 years ago.
Yep.
To the fact there that you were traveling a lot, not seeing your family. Was that one of the reasons that you decided to start your own business, and was there other reasons as well?
There were a number of reasons. That was one of them. The other reasons is I was working for one of the big boys in the industry. And I'd become, starting there as a senior engineer. I pretty much walked in as a senior engineer, and then I went from being a person to a number, and that really, really upset me. And I thought I was out doing training engineers, traveling the country, training engineers, and I didn't feel valued. And I just thought, you know what, maybe it's time to let's stop earning money for all the big boys. And then I was going out to customers, and I was seeing the prices that were being charged, and I just didn't agree with it. And I just thought I could provide a better service on my own. So I left that company, went and did a bit of work for Southern Water for a little while, because I wasn't allowed, terms of my contract, I wasn't allowed to start with anybody else, or start myself for so many months. And then we sort of so literally just did a few things on the weekends, and my best friend got involved with the company, and we've just grown from there. The 2 of us have just taken from there. So from a national lockdown on 2019, and then 16 days later, 17 days later, going into a national lockdown. Probably not the best time to start a business, but with everyone being at home, if I'm honest, it thrived for us because everyone was using a lot more water and getting a lot more problems. People weren't spending money on going away on holidays; they were upgrading their gardens and upgrading their sewage systems. So it, in a way, it worked well for us. We've turned a profit from day one. So I shouldn't complain.
No, absolutely. Look, well done. And look, there were some businesses that thrived through COVID. There was other businesses that unfortunately struggled. So look, great industry to be in at the time. So when you started out, Carl, what were your aspirations for your business? Did you have any particular goals that you wanted to achieve, or any particular vision for your business in the future?
Not really. It was one I wanted to prove. I had a lot of doubters at the beginning. A lot of my ex-employees had found out what I was trying to do, and they all said, "Oh, he'll fail, and it'll be, you'll never make a success of it." So I sort of wanted to prove them wrong a bit, but I just wanted to provide a local service, and that was all I wanted. And then maybe, who knows, when the kids are older, maybe hand it down. Maybe, who knows? But there was no, honestly, I'm not written. No, not really. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be mega rich, but I want to be comfortable. And I'm a very honest person, and people like that. People, I'm very honest. We don't go in there and rip people off. We give very fair prices, and which is why people keep coming back. We've 2,500 customers in just short of 5 years is quite impressive, I think.
But I would certainly agree with that. I'd certainly agree with that. And a lot, I like to do a bit of preparation before these sort of discussions. And I noticed one comment on your website that sort of echoes what you've just sort of said. And you say at Kent Wastewater Services, our goal is to make sure we bring our customers the most affordable yet highest quality solutions. So
Yep.
how does that underpin the values of your business, the culture in your business, Carl?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I try and sell the business or try and promote the business with a service. If I would look for what I want, and if the right system's not going to every garden I visit, every customer I visit, I put myself in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we work with multiple treatment plant manufacturers. No site there's no two sites are the same. So I personally try and give the customer what I think is right. Without the silly costs. There are so many for a drainage industry. There's so many cowboys in our industry where it's not regulated. Everyone else is regulated. The drainage industry doesn't seem to be. So I want to get that out of the industry, that cowboy mentality out of the industry, and people love honesty. We don't go in and undercut. If people think we're too pricey, then I'm not going to sit there and haggle with them. We do a fair price, a fair job for what we do, and very rarely, the last 2 years, I'd be honest, 9 out of 10 jobs we'd win.
And I think that underlines a great principle, I think, Carl, because customers look for a fair price. They will pay a fair price, and they're not always looking for the cheapest. But there are other things that they look for, and those things, it varies, across industries, etc. But normally they're things like, they want to work with somebody that's honest. They want to work with somebody that they trust.
Yep.
And so I guess that, that's something that you echo in what you do. Be open, be honest, offer a fair price. And actually, if you do that, you'll get business. And linking into what you sort of said earlier, a lot of your business comes through referrals.
Yeah. I'd say 90% of our business is referrals. We post everything. I mean, if people see my LinkedIn and my Facebook, Instagram, TikToks, everything like that, we post daily. I mean, some people see it's a little bit obsessive, but posting daily has won us big contracts in Kent, big fruit farms in Kent. We've just taken on 2 really large fruit farms in Kent because of a Facebook post. So that then recommendation led for somewhere else, and it says for other and other installs, and that would lead to even more work. So yeah, that's what we want to do. It works for me. It doesn't work for everybody.
Keeping a good presence and profile on social media.
Yeah.
Doing a good, honest job so people refer you. Do you do anything in particular, Carl? Do you ask people for referrals or incentivize people for referrals, or do they just naturally do it?
It's all natural. We've never asked. We've never felt for the need. I've never pushed it. So literally, if we always, we had one customer who we did a tank for 3 years ago and recommended it to a friend. She's in I think her late 60s. Recommended to a friend, who then recommended to another friend. Then last week we put a tank in for them. So just for that one job, it pays, and they like us. You know, we're a very small company. I tried it last year, employ a few more people, and we went a little bit bigger, but the standards dropped. Right. So this year we've downgraded. We're putting a bit more attention to detail into it. So we have changed it up. We've brought a few new people on. A few new people in the office now. I mean, like I said, 4 years ago, we were running in a shed from the bottom of my garden. We're now, although our office is still at home, but we do have a small yard where we can store tanks, and we can be competitive now, so much more competitive.
All the good businesses started in a garage or something, or Microsoft, all those sort of businesses, they started in garages. So
loads of customers come to the house. They'd come to the house and have a cup of tea with myself, my wife, my mother-in-law who lives with us, and have a cup of tea, and we'd talk pretty much about wastewater, and
it's a good, honest business. So that's great. So look, Carl, what would you say the biggest challenge that you've faced as a business owner is?
Probably finance. Probably is the biggest struggle I struggle to deal with. I'm very fortunate. I've got a good background team who does the day-to-day invoicing and chasing payments, but it's always a worry in the back of my mind. Is there, because we're not the most expensive company. We're not the cheapest. But for the finance, do we make sure we have enough turnover coming in, and how can we bring more money into the business, and not to get too greedy. We like to have nice new vehicles, because we're now covering everything from sort of Birmingham actually down to Cornwall. 2 weeks time we're going to Bude for a week, so we want to make sure we've got nice vans and they're roadworthy. But finance is probably the biggest headache I have. Just making sure that there's plenty of cash reserves in the bank, and enough to, if we want to upgrade. We're always upgrading equipment. We want the best equipment. Makes the jobs go so much easier. The easier the jobs, the quicker we can get in and out, and not have any comebacks.
So if you don't mind me asking, Carl, what have you done to sort of in relation to like that finance to help you sort of manage it, to help you keep on top of it? Is there anything in particular that you've done or put in place that has helped you to overcome that challenge of finance?
So we've brought in card payment machines, and doing the back transfer and stuff like that. We've shortened down our terms and conditions for where we were usually sort of like 30 days of payment. Most of our stuff now is 7 days.
Yeah.
There's a percentage which we get up front, and then another percentage when we're on site, and then the final percentage when we're doing. So that does ease the mind a little bit. But I mean, I might just to just highlight those points. All the things you said there were great tips for business owners that want to improve the cash flow through their business. Yeah.
Reducing their terms, making it easier for people to pay.
Yeah.
Great tips there. Thank you for sharing those, Carl. Yeah.
No, it's not problem. So it works well for our business. A lot of people, we have a mixture of customers, everything from couples in their late 20s to customers in their 80s, 90s. Some of them, I hate dealing. The older generation, I want to deal in checks and cash and stuff like that. It's okay, but you then someone's going to have to go out the office and then go and take to the bank and pay it all in. Where the card payments, it just works so much easier for us. Having the backs transfers, all the details on our sheets now, it just makes it so much easier.
Right. And what would you say the biggest learning that you've had since you've been in business? Because you've been in the business hours, we said, about 5 years. What's been the biggest learning for you?
Biggest learning, managing people.
Okay.
I'm probably better at it now than I was. There's there might be courses out there. I'm pretty certain there are courses out there to teach you how to manage people, but because we're family run, most of the people who work here are family. Other than sort of like my best friend who works for us, trying to manage him from being a best friend, which we've had from literally like 1-2 years old to now he's now a site manager, and trying to manage him has been proved difficult. But I know, I said he's my number one guy, and everything I do, I trust him more than anyone. So, but yeah, managing people has probably been my biggest challenge, but I'm getting better at it.
That's great. And look, all these things that we don't get taught these things at school, do we? There was no managing people class at school, and
No.
and most business owners sort of pick it up along the way, and make mistakes or whatever it might be. I mean, you mentioned earlier about you employed more people, and then perhaps some of the attention to detail lost. I'm sure you learned a few things through that. Going,
right, okay. Most definitely. I mean, that's one thing we try and pride ourselves on. We want to leave sites clean and tidy. We don't like. I hate getting callbacks. And my biggest issue was letting go, because end of the day, I still see myself. I'm still a drainage. 25 years I've been a drainage engineer who wanted to start a business, and I can't come off the tools. I don't want to come off the tools. I like getting involved, but I did come off the tools for a little while, let other people do it, and the standards did drop, and I've had to then go back to work to get them standards back up again. And I've been very fortunate that a lot of our customers have stuck with me. They've sort of seen the changes, and then it's not just that we're not the cheapest in Kent by far from it, but we're not the most expensive, but we are probably one of the most honest.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose money on a job but keep a customer. So,
well, the fact that they refer you to other people, I think means that ultimately you get that back at some point in the future anyway, don't you? So
yeah,
that's a good long long sort of mindset to have. And going back to your managing your best friend again, was there anything in particular that you put in place? Did you agree any sort of boundaries or anything with your best friend to say, look, when we're at work, but outside of that we're friends? Is there anything that you did in particular?
I would probably nothing official. Most of the stuff that happens at work, we have banter. He's very what's the word? He wants what's best for the company. So he's come in. He got made redundant during COVID, and then rang me up one day, and I said, look, I know you're doing quite, I know you want to start something up. I can come in and help. So he's been with us from day one, and he's helped the company. Without him, the company wouldn't be where it is. I tell him that all the time. If he didn't come in, I would still be working full time, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and I wouldn't have done it. He gave me a push, and he knows that. He knows how vital he is to the company, and we don't abuse that of him. He travels down from Essex 3-4 days a week. He's only a subby, and he turns up every week when I want him, and we wouldn't have done any of the jobs without him.
Fantastic. But again, I think that's a great principle and lesson to learn there, isn't it? Surround yourself by great people that you trust, and that underpins your business and helps it to grow and achieve what you want to achieve. So.
Exactly. I said the company's only as good as its last job, and I think that's his saying. You're only as good as your last job. I love that. Very rarely, you often get a couple of callbacks for minor things, but we don't really have any issues with any of our tanks. We'll put them in the ground, and then a year later we'll go back. That's what we want. We don't want callbacks, and he's really, really good. He's very, very particular, and he treats people's gardens just like his own. So care and consideration, I think, is the key.
Brilliant. And Carl, look, there's one question that I like to ask all my guests that are kind enough to sort of come on this discussion with me, and that's this: what is the best advice that you would give to an 18-year-old you?
What would I? If you get the opportunity to start your own business, do it young. I had a dream of doing this about 15 years ago, and I got scared. Didn't think I could do it, and it took me up till I was 38 before I sort of thought, you know what, then give it a go. I mean, it's still quite young for setting up a business, I suppose, but just learn. I was very fortunate. I worked with a lot of good people, ex-army and navy guys, and I just listened to what people want to do. I left school at 16, went straight into this industry, didn't do college, uni, anything like that. And I just listened, and I started from the bottom up, and worked my way up to where I am now. And that's literally just paying attention, listening, to me, that's the best advice. If I was offering, that's the advice I'm going to give to my son when he turns 18. When he leaves school, just listen, learn a trade, and go for it.
Like that, great advice, isn't it? Yeah, sort of just if you're thinking about starting a business, learn what you need to learn and just do it. Don't delay it.
Don't delay it. Just learn what you need to learn. Get good at it. Make sure you know the rules and the regs, because there are so many people out there who literally just think they can buy a van and go out, do some jetting or cameraing or put a tank in the ground. It's not easy. It's not easy putting a tank in the ground. Amount of people I go behind putting tanks in the ground because they put it in the ground wrong or something like that. It's unreal. But yeah, learn a trade, get good at it, and then give it a go, and then you'll have no regrets.
Like it. Great advice, Carl. Great advice. Thank you. So look, Carl, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and sharing more about your business and also your journey. So thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you very much.